Go.
Okay. Hi, today we'll be making a surgical gown. And so the first step is you want to find the size of the gown. And this one is a medium. It usually says on the top, you get to see the M, and it's for medium. And how you start is you want to have the gown face down on the table. So like this, and the sleeves should be out. Make sure that they're right side out. And you can just tell by looking at these seams. And if it's right side out, then you'll know. So the first step is to fold the sleeves inwards. And you want to keep them really straight while you're doing it. That way your folding ends up being like pretty precise and perfect. And that's the goal of folding these gowns, perfection. So fold them in the center together. And then after that, there's this seam right here. And we're going to fold this on that seam. So just like this. Just make sure that you're doing it as crisp as you can, because if it's not very crisp, then it's going to be harder to do the next few steps. And over here, we're just going to make sure that it's crisp and pull it outwards so that there aren't any extra folds. And then you just do the same thing on this side. You want to fold it on this seam right here. Do the same on this side, stretch it out to make sure that it looks symmetrical. This is how it should look. And then we need to fold these each inwards. So you just fold it like this. Make sure to straighten the sides as you do it too. And fold it inwards like this. Now once it's folded like this, you just go ahead and fold it in half once more. And pull it tight, and then you can start folding it into like an accordion style. So you just start folding like this, and you can do 5 or 6 folds. Really just depends on how big the gown is and how strong you are at folding it. And then just press it down, and then the next step is to take one of these indicator strips and you want to put it in the center of the gown. That way it just makes sure that the entire gown has been sterilized and not just the top. And then you take one of these hand towels and also just put it on and push everything down just to compact it, because we need to wrap it with our glue towel. So this wrapping is probably the hardest part of making a gown, and you want to make sure that when you wrap it, you can't see any of the green gown. So you really need to make sure that it's tight. And just start by doing your first one. Oh, we're gonna do it really similar to a spay-neuter pack. And this is like the position that I like to do it, but you don't have to do it exactly like me as long as there's no green showing. And then you just start by folding it. And then pull it tight for your second fold. Hold it back and forward. And then for your third fold, just take this again and hold it back and forward. And then for this last one, you want to make sure to straighten it before you do it, just like this. Bring it inward so that there's no green showing. You can always adjust after, but just get everything together, and that way when you pull it over to tighten, there isn't any green showing. And then we tuck in this part right here. Okay. And then after that, we need to wrap it with this blue drape. And this wrapping is pretty much the same as a spay-neuter pack. And so you just start by doing the bottom, bring it back and forward. Then you do the side. Again, just making sure that it's tight and that you can't see any of the blue towel as you're wrapping. Last one. And you just push it in like this. And finally, the last step is just to tape it closed. And hopefully you still remember the size of the gown. This one is a medium, but we just need to remember the size when we label it. Fold it over itself, and then just have it wrapped. And then you just write medium, and then the date, and your initials. And that's how you make a surgical gown.